Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim fram sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Friday edition from Gulfstream Park. 10 Palms is the place, and let's see, Mike Mayo, Jeff Defo Forest, Mike Lubie Lubitz on the mixing board. And
Who's
once
a
again,
special mystery guest?
we are graced by the presence of a legendary broadcaster.
I'm going to make it.
Always great to see him. Tony Segreto.
I'm going to make
welcome
it
back.
an annual thing, like weekly thing.
It's got to be every week.
Weekly thing
Well,
is
we'll
better.
see, because next
How-
week
how
we
do
may
you
have
make this?
another special guest.
You're
next
eating the
week,
great food here at 10 Palms.
Yeah.
You can hand to the
Take weeks
Racing
off.
Corn by Mayo as soon as you walk in the door, and you're in good company here. Tony
Yeah.
Segreto, people who love you. So it's great. Good to see you, Tony. Good to see you.
Well, we
Yeah.
saw him last week, and he liked it so
Was
much.
it just last week?
It was just last week.
When you're 72 like I am, it
But you
seems
run
like
out
it
of
was.
the
Was it
beverage and
last
you run
year?
out.
You
gotta
were
get
at my birthday?
I'm
refill the-
73.
But you don't look it, man. You don't look it. You look
Got
like a kid.
Got a couple of septuagenarians, and then this kid here, Lubie.
He has an
I feel
old
like the
soul, though,
oldest
Lubie.
man of anyone here.
And
What are you
me,
talking
I'm
about?
somewhat in the middle with everything, and
Well,
I've got
well-
us loaded up on the Let's Eat South Florida
Yes.
Facebook group.
Here's
A little
to
bit
you,
of
let's
technical
eat.
difficulties.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Almost 115,000 in the next couple of hours. We'll be
Unbelievable.
surpassing
amazing.
the 115,000 mark. I think that's
That's
bigger.
like 5 dimes up from a couple of weeks ago.
Bigger than the city of Hollywood, maybe bigger than the city of like Albany, New York. I don't even know. It's big. You could fill a stadium in Tennessee with it.
Bigger than my town in Vermont.
That's well. I think it's bigger than the entire state of Vermont and
Yeah.
Rhode Island combined. But
No, Vermont has 600,000 people.
600.
whole
All right, so we
state.
got a ways to go. All right.
Does Bernie Sanders count, or is he just an exception there? He's like one of those electorate people that
He's a
Trump's
Brooklyn
wanted to change.
by way of now,
Yeah.
Vermont and DC. Hey, we're celebrating
What do you
today.
got?
It
Mayo?
is
You're drinking a beer? That's unusual.
the
National Beer
ministry.
Day.
The Ministry of Silly Food Holidays has proclaimed today International Beer Day. It
There
was
you go.
actually created by a brewer in Oregon, of all places. That doesn't sound very international to me, but he just said, let's pick a date on the calendar. What's a good day to drink beer and call it international.
There you
and
go.
so beer drinkers around the world rejoice. And I've got my Stella Artois, which of course is from what country?
France.
Defo? Tony says France.
I'm going Dutch.
You say Dutch. I think you're both wrong. I think it's a Belgian beer.
I was going to say Belgium.
All right. Well,
let's
to me,
see.
that's Dutch. They're
It's
all
a-
Dutch.
the beer
They're all
Fin
Dutch.
Deluxe. They're all
my
Dutch.
Yeah.
I should know this, but of course, this bottle says brewed in the USA by Stella Artois, St. Louis, Missouri.
It was brewed in Brooklyn next to Jonas Schimmel's. What are you talking about, man? That's,
everything now in the beer
Rabbi
world
bless that.
is basically owned and controlled by like 3 major
Yes.
companies.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
InBev, which now controls Budweiser. So all the InBev brands, including the European brands like Stella Artois, they're all produced and bottled here at the old like Budweiser factory. And then-
Imagine a guy I know that, and I forget the name of the company that imported Heineken. The first guy, he brought it over here, and it just caught on. Now, I'll tell you something, Mr. Food, that surprised me is that Modelo is now the #1 beer
It
due to
is.
the fact that
Well,
some
man.
ad genius in New York decided to put a transgender person on the Bud Light can. Their sales have dropped into the toilet, and now Modelo is the
Modelo
#1
is the
beer in
number
America.
one
Yeah.
beer.
well, I guess
in
they didn't
America.
build the wall high enough
Yeah.
to keep the beer out.
It's a good beer, though. I have it.
I really
It's
enjoy
just
Modelo.
pedestrian.
I mean,
It's
yeah.
an
I really
everyday
enjoy
beer.
Modelo. I really enjoy Modelo.
Modelo. it
Corona
Look,
was
I'm not-
hot for
maybe
a
my new
while, but
favorite beer.
Modelo took over.
Modelo and Yingling are 2 beers I like that are
thanks
for like
to having a good product, and they come in the regular light beer lager and the
Yeah,
dark.
they're
I like
darker
the Modelo dark. I don't
Is
know
that
if
only
you've
the
ever
light
had
beer market that they're talking about? Because I can't imagine Modelo's outselling Budweiser, regular Budweiser, is it?
that.
Or has that Bud Light thing affected all
of
Budweiser
Busch,
products?
Budweiser.
You're
all
asking
Budweiser.
me questions that I don't know because I'm not
It's
currently
okay.
up
That
to date.
doesn't disqualify you from answering
Yeah.
as an expert. You're on TV.
Modelo.
Of course, I
think the brand-
understand the indictment.
Besides, I guess some people are people are crazy, but people have somehow taken it out on Budweiser and Bud Light because of some of their marketing efforts and their inclusive marketing efforts. Modelo has had some good marketing efforts too, celebrating immigrants and people who have risen up from humble beginnings.
Yeah,
Good
really
commercials,
good,
yes. Yeah.
really good commercials.
The tattoo guy that's also a cartoonist. I love that guy.
Yeah. So, thanks to that and it all comes down to a good product. Oh, here we go. We've got some.
Look at this. Tony
that's the
Segredo.
avocado caprese
It's
salad.
a salad Defo
Nice.
had last week he
Me
wasn't the biggest
and
fan of, but you guys
Tony
went for it.
Segredo, a man
Tony's going to
of,
throw a little chicken on top of
class
that.
and
Yeah.
taste.
Nice.
Both me and Tony ordered the same thing today.
Get out of here.
We got the caprese
I
avocado
went
salad.
with what Lubie had last week, which looks so good. I've had the chicken Caesar.
It's really
here
good. They do a
before.
really good job with the
Great
Caesar.
job here.
And they do a great job
Yeah.
all the time here at 10 Palms. I mean, we've become regulars up here. And
Four degenerate
they-
freaks, and
they
we're eating
still-
salads. What
they
is wrong with
still
us? I
serve
mean,
us. Well, look at this. This is such a
Yeah.
pretty bowl. I wish people at home could maybe see this.
Shouldn't we
it
be
is a
having a hot
very-
dog though, or a burger or something? I mean, we're at the track.
I've done enough of that
Pizza.
in my life, and even
Yeah.
I'm
here
going
at 10 Palms.
heavy eating today.
But it is so oppressively hot outside that when you
Yes,
see
sir.
this little minimalist plate of these perfectly nice chunk cubes of avocado,
Look out for Lubie though. He didn't hold back.
tomatoes,
Yeah.
and
It's-
little
it-
bits of the caprese, the fresh mozzarella,
It's-
with a little drizzle of vinaigrette.
Oh, it
Well,
smells
vinegar.
great.
It's a vinegar on here, and they got a little dusting of it. Looks like either fairy dust or rose petals, but it's like some sort of very nice little garnish that's red. And hopefully, it's the magic dust that helps us pick winners today out here at Gulfstream Park.
How you
right?
feeling about that? You feeling good?
Not good. I'm going on a bad
He's like,
run.
not
cold?
good.
Oh, really?
Scared money never wins, and right now I am just messed
You're
up.
running scared.
I'm running around trying to get work done on the house so I could cash these big insurance checks because you don't want to give them the big checks because then they hold on to them if the work's not done. So
Oh
the
no,
key
yeah,
is
no, you
you
never
gotta
with a
get the
We're
work
actually
done
doing the
yourself.
work.
Yeah, next week.
He was shocked that they're doing it.
Could you just pay a couple of guys to show up and look like they're doing
Yeah.
something?
Oh,
Get the
you know, we
check
have
and
to-
then
I have to
Tell
take
them to get
visual
lost?
proof to show that all the
Oh,
walls
okay.
and floors are back to their condition
Yeah,
that it was before the flood event in April. And then
seems like
once
a
I
good
do
fail
that-
safe.
Oh.
Yeah, for the insurance
so
company.
but the whole thing is it's supposed to all happen next week. A little bit frazzled. I got to still get some materials, flooring materials, and whatnot. But it's all going to work out. Meanwhile, what else can I do except sit
Eat.
here with my friends and have a nice little healthy salad, take a sip of beer on International Beer Day, and say salud and l'chaim, right?
Yeah, and
So-
once again, the clam chowder here, unbelievable. What were you going to say, Tom?
So the beer craze
Yeah.
is out of control, and it's the number one craft beer the number one craft.
Wait, before you speak, I don't want you to give away. It could be our contest answer this
No.
week. It won't be? Okay.
Well, the number one craft beer state
Okay. Oh, state. Okay, good.
is Vermont.
Oh,
Is that right?
in
Yeah.
terms of number of craft brewers overall or per capita or what's that?
Per
stat?
capita.
Okay.
It is by far the most. You walk into a liquor store, it's like it's candy day.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Well, there are certain places, as I talk with my mouth full once again, you guys have
That's
been
how
a
the whole
bad
show
influence
goes.
on
I
me.
mean, yeah, it's unbelievable.
I got to.
You started it,
I
Mayo,
gotta
and then
take
we
it easy.
just decided that was the way to go. Then
I
we weren't going
started
to
it.
fight
You
it.
finished
yeah.
me off. I tell you what,
When you ate that McRib sandwich on like the second show,
Before
that
my
was
time.
with a disgusting
I'm
mouthful
grateful
of
he,
the
like,
most
gagged and threw
swell
up.
food you could ever eat. We
McRib
said,
almost,
"Hey, this is pretty good."
Yeah.
He like got
McRib
sick over
almost
it.
got me off food forever. That was a really that I tell you is a 0 stars. That thing. You
That's
you
how
talk
this
about
started. That's
Skyline
how this
chili
all
all you
started.
want.
You-
Some days I need a Skyline. Okay, maybe I wouldn't give it 4 stars in a Sun Sentinel review, but it's a good, adequate comfort food for some freaks like
You would
me.
have been covering high school football and going and having to keep stats on the sideline if you had given Skyline Chili 4 stars in the
I
Sun
never would-
Sentinel
I
when you
didn't
were the
review
food
it.
critic. Yeah,
It's one of those guilty pleasures. But let's get back to the
All right.
subject at hand, which is beer.
beer. Okay.
So Vermont, of course, one of
Vermont.
these kind of like states that prides itself on artisan things and the
And
cheeses, right?
it's crazy. 1 week, this beer company is number one.
It pops up and
And
everybody
the next
flocks
week,
there.
by the time you get the beer and drink it, it's already got.
They're out of business.
That's
No,
Florida insurance company.
it's already
you
the
have
ne-
that confused.
It's already the next beer
Yeah.
coming up.
Oh yeah, they these craft brewers they love playing around with all the flavors. My friend Corey at Three Sons Brewing around the corner, my local in Dania Beach, and they were out here for last week's Burgers and Beers Festival. I unfortunately did not make it out here, but I heard it was a great time, and they had a lot of local brewers. They're always coming up with different styles. There's the IPAs, there's the Hefeweizens, the wheat beers, the German wheat beers, the lagers, the sours that they blend in with fruit, and it comes in with a little bit sweet and sour edge to it. I mean, it's incredible, the range and diversity, and how America's palate for beer has gone beyond what Defoe's palate never has gone beyond. Is just, you just have your normal bud.
I'm down to considering Coors Light a beer, and it has become my beer of choice for my.
It's gone that badly for you.
My post walk of life ventures. I slug down. I would say now, in the summertime, I'm good for like 2 16-ounce aluminum cans of Coors Light after.
If you're
You
gonna
need
do
the
that,
frozen glass. I have to say this though. I mean, if you do it right,
You have a frozen glass.
it's orgasmic, Mayo. I mean,
great.
you pour it in there. My refrigerator is, on a fairly cold temperature, as most people's are, I imagine, in Florida. And when this light beer gets into a frozen mug that comes out of, the freezer, absolutely sensational. That first sip is as good as anything I've ever had. Dom Perignon, any kind of liquid.
Can I give you a little, like what the kids call a hack or a tip?
Yeah.
And you can save some money and aggravation. Instead of buying a Coors Light, just take a glass, fill it with some water, and pour 2 ounces of vodka in it. Stir it up. And
better than
I don't even know if you're getting the equivalent of 2 ounces of vodka. I mean, to tell you the truth, I don't know how this qualifies as beer, but it is good.
Well, no, it's
fine.
water. You're basically drinking water,
is,
and I think it would be better to just drink water laced with a little vodka, maybe
course it
1
would.
ounce.
Yeah. But why would I do that when I can, drink these 2 Coors Lights? Now I switch off between that and a regular Budweiser. That's my guilty pleasure, is to actually get a regular beer.
Yes,
It's
Theo's
so
become a
sad.
This is
college
a Vermont
student.
guy with his
He's
Ben
become
and
a college
Jerry's and his ice cream
freshman is
churned
what
right
he
there
has
on the
become.
premises. What does he know about food and beer?
So,
have
I want to respond to some of our chatters
Okay,
because the chat's very active.
Let's hear it.
First of all, Brian, I apologize. You will not be watching Mayo guzzle down pork au jus today. He's gone avocado, tomato, and mozzarella.
You got to balance it out. I mean, if you have Pork Fest one day, and I had nothing but pork
Like
dishes
12
yesterday,
different pork dishes
between
yesterday.
wicked cheesesteaks where I ate my namesake sandwich, the Mike Mayo special with the roasted pork, broccoli.
Oh, my
rabe,
wife also
and
agrees with
provolone.
Defo that the sandwich is a nice sandwich if it didn't have broccoli rabe on it.
All right, that's why Brian, ever the shrewd entrepreneur, has put another roast pork sandwich on the menu to
Without
for
broccoli
those who
rabe.
don't
Yes.
like the broccoli rabe. I think he's doing one with an aioli, a garlic
Yes.
aioli, and some onions,
yep.
and no broccoli rabe, but still having a little bit of cheese. Do you like, when you go to Philly? Obviously, everybody talks about cheesesteaks, but to me, the best sandwich to come out of Philadelphia that's called the roast pork with broccoli rabe
Oh yeah.
and provolone.
Oh yeah.
And some
You
people
agree with
say
him?
it's too bitter.
By
See,
far.
It's
By
an
far.
Italian thing.
By far, not even close.
See, I'm not Italian, but as I'm an honorary Italian. I just think that broccoli rabe, it exemplifies life because you have that beautiful
Exemplifies
roasted
It's
juice.
just the
listen to this
aftertaste is
guy.
strong. I
It gets
actually
poetic and
You
all
gotta
this.
have a little bitterness.
It's a
in
cheese
life.
sandwich.
Yeah,
What
I
are you
don't
talking
get
about?
the taste.
My wife makes the best broccoli rabe.
Ah, okay.
Oh, there.
She
with garlic.
makes it with garlic
Yeah, you gotta
and
just-
breadcrumbs.
Oh,
Oh my
interesting.
God, that sounds good.
It is.
It's to die for.
Oh, it is.
Well, and to answer Ms. Annette, where they went light, the last couple weeks, if you've watched, I've gone light with salads and soup. So I went all in and got the rigatoni alla vodka, which is one of my favorite dishes here, with the blackened chicken, and I got meatballs for everyone to share. We'll see if they actually
Very
dive into it because they're going healthy today. But
What do you think? Do you think I could like pop a whole meatball in my mouth and
as
just?
well, I just
gargle
want one
soup?
meatball. You do what you want. I just don't slobber over
A one
one
bite
of
meatball
them.
where I just like swallow the
Okay,
meatball.
serve
whole.
it. Serve it.
I'm not
baby.
going to do that now. I'm going to do that later. Just don't start.
Do
we
it
got a
now. Come
contest
on.
to do.
Come
Yeah, we
on,
do have a
Mayo.
contest.
This is
Yeah,
a
we do
show.
have a
We're
contest.
doing-
Do it now.
Let's try to maintain
Tony, you know it's about
a
entertainment.
modicum
What's wrong with this?
decorum.
A modicum of decorum.
But just to
This
get
is
back,
the man
get
that's-
back to beer for a second, because places like Vermont, and then it was also, look, Boston, even the Sam Adams was kind of one of the first forerunners
Sam
into
Adams was
the,
big. Yeah, they had good
small
commercials too with the
independent-
guy with the beard, and he was in the brewery
the
there.
first ones.
They
Yeah.
really looked like they were dedicated to it. It was great.
Yeah, and that was one of those small regional breweries that first.
What are
kinda
you
came
looking
on.
for, though? I mean, what kind
Flavor.
of flavor are you looking for?
Yeah, hoppy, a
Okay.
good, strong something.
Hoppy?
How would you
that
describe
has
the
hoppy?
best-
What is hoppy?
the
Yeah,
Yeah,
best
what is
beer.
hoppy? You hop along Cassidy? What are we talking
What do you
about
mean
here?
hoppy?
hops?
most-
Beer is made with hops.
I
These
get that,
people-
but what do you mean by
sitting
hoppy?
next to these people?
But
it's
what
like
is a
with-
hoppy
sitting
flavor?
with-
No, but what do you mean
most
by hoppy? I know
coveted
what
nutrient.
hops are, but what do you mean with a hoppy? Is it more full?
Can you
Is
let-
it?
Tony was going to say something. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
The most coveted beer in America.
Yeah.
Is Hetty Topper.
Okay.
It comes from Vermont. It has been the #1 beer for 5 years.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Hetty
Wow.
Topper.
I'll get you
It's
some.
like the
Can you get
Pappy
it down
Van
here? Or do you have
Winkle
to
of
order
beers,
You have to.
Is
you
it
have-
hoppy?
Okay, hops, which is
Oh, he's
like
using
the-
terms. He throws
know
them
what
out there
hops
like
are. I'm
it's
saying
a
what-
real term.
well,
Come on,
hops. It
Tony.
has a kind of distinctive. It's also not it's a little bit of a bitterness, I guess.
That's what I'm
in
asking.
All right,
hops.
there you go.
And it's pronounced in IPAs. They use certain times.
Are
of
you a Guinness stout
flowery
guy?
hops.
Do you like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff? Heavy duty?
Guinness?
Yeah.
Guinness is
Guinness is
He
light.
likes it. He
syrup.
likes it.
Yeah, when you go to Ireland, you got to pound the Guinness. Guinness.
Do people
The-
really like it, or they just
have,
pretend to like
they
it?
have
What do you
two,
think?
People enjoy
they have
Guinness.
2 different taps in Ireland.
for the
For
American-
Guinness.
right? The American.
Tourists and average.
They do.
Yeah.
They have
the
they
real
have,
Guinness and the Guinness we
they
think
have
is
a
what
The
kind that's
American
di-
one is cold,
Yeah.
and they don't give a big, frothy head. And then the regular one is warm, and they kind of have
they really like it
has to
warm.
be like a 2-finger head on it
Yeah.
of foam. I've been not to Ireland, but across the UK, and the Guinness there tastes different, and it's better. And
Yeah.
it's as the brochure, the ad campaign there says, Guinness is good for you. So
Yeah.
people drink.
Do you
it
have
for
to look like
breakfast.
you were out whaling
they
all
give you-
afternoon, to get the legitimate stuff? The
How
way
do
they
you
serve it?
talk in this environment?
I've
And
done
this
it
is
for
why
12
I
years.
don't. That's why I eat. I've resorted to eating and stuffing my face during the show.
13 years
because
actually now.
It's just become impossible. But
They got the pregnant women have
Drinking
Guinness. You have Guinness.
So it's not as
okay.
alcoholic. Like what
Well-
is the point? Like I don't.
I guess they don't
What
have a
makes it-
Surgeon General. It's as strict as the one here. That must be. That's the other thing I wanted to say is
C.
the
Everett
West,
Koop.
the West
Is he
Coast.
still in charge?
He's still their person.
The
Yeah.
West Coast, California and Oregon was also a pioneering in the
Oh.
whole craft beer market. I remember in the late 80s, early 90s going out to San Francisco and taking a tour of Anchor Steam Brewing Company,
that was
which has
big,
been
yeah.
there since the late 1800s. But that's like a small city regional beer. And apparently they're on the verge of shutting down. It was taken over by some big company. They said it's not profitable anymore. Now the workers have tried to band together and save the brand and buy it out and run it as a workers co-op. I hope they do, because I
Yeah.
love Anchor Steam beer. And then up in the Portland, Oregon area, a lot of beer. And now we can talk about the contest, because Florida itself, South Florida in particular, and Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties has become a haven of really good
Yeah, we've got a
craft
lot of
beer.
good craft beer. Yep.
Our
Did you ever
friend-
drink a Rheingold?
Yes.
You did. Okay. What
Yeah,
did you
when
think
I
of
was
that?
6.
Me too.
I was
Yeah,
speaking
yeah,
to
it was the
the
first
bridge.
beer I ever had. My dad gave me a sip of his Rheingold. They sold it right on Manhattan Beach. Like you could buy a beer up there, along with other things. Guy came around on the sand, and it was like selling knishes and the little Needix drinks. But
I drank all the crappy beers as a kid.
Rheingold, Schaefer,
Schlitz, Peels. I can
Peels.
sing all the
Schlitz is still around.
Schlitz is still around, and it still tastes like Schlitz.
you know, was the biggest advocate for Schlitz beer, and I don't know why he ended up in like a Miller Lite commercial. But Art Donovan
Oh,
He
yeah.
was the
would
first
not
Schlitz guy?
travel
Oh, he had like
without
a deal, I
going
think, for
without
Schlitz.
going
Yeah, he
with
had
a
like a
case
deal.
of Schlitz.
He was like
I remember
Wherever he
Jimmy
went.
Breslin, who's like my personal god, the writer, the rest in peace, and columnist for various New York newspapers.
You have a
and
little
tabloids.
Breslin in you.
Yeah,
you do.
I have. He was a burly, bombastic guy but he actually was a pitchman for Peel's beer in the, I'm going to say, mid 70s. And I remember it was the slogan for Peel's was, "It's a real drinking beer." Which
I don't know what that means.
It's better than being a mainlining beer.
Yeah.
Beer. You don't want to
Like,
kind
what
of
are you
shoot
doing
it
with
up
the
like
beer?
heroin.
My beer is Rheingold, a dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not. what was the name?
Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having
more than one. Oh, and Ballantine was big.
Ballantine,
that's
That
what I was-
was a little
Mel
before
Allen
my
was
time.
Valentine.
That
Ballantine.
was.
I don't remember how it tasted. I would assume awful, but
So
Just assume
now I
it
got
all.
completely lost.
Goes Regal
We're supposed to
Beer.
be doing the contest.
you're doing a
You haven't
contest.
even tried
You
to
let
do
into
it.
it
No,
with beer.
I was going to say
You
our
let
friend
Defo-
Tony got you confused now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Today is International Beer Day. Tomorrow is National Oyster Day, and our
Oh,
friend
nice.
Tom T, who we love,
Yes.
who operates out of
He's
a
watching
small
us right now.
brewery in Boynton Beach,
Hello,
Nobo Brewing Company.
But
I
he
guess
moves around now a little
he
bit.
moves around. He's
Yeah.
at Anchors Away tonight.
That's-
Oh,
oh,
he
yeah.
is.
Oh, that's
that's
He's going to be
nice.
the dive bar
I'll
in
be at
Deerfield. He's
Union
going to be cooking up some grilled oysters and doing some fun stuff with oysters in recognition of tomorrow's Oyster Day celebration. I think
Nice.
today he's at Anchors Away. Tomorrow, I'm assuming
He'll
he'll
be
be
at
at
Nobu tomorrow?
Nobo,
Oh,
and
that's
I guess Nobo stands for North Boynton Brewery. It's
Yeah.
in that little warehouse district. Really cool spot.
It's a
They
cool
have-
spot. It's
They
just
have
avoid-
good
It's
beer.
just a little
too.
hard to find.
Yeah. They're all hard to find. Breweries are
Their
always hard to
beer
find.
at Nobo, they're known for something called like a honey blonde. It's
They
like
had
a
nice stuff there.
it's a blonde
Yeah, I like that
beer
place.
that has honey and jalapeno, so it's a little bit sweet and a little bit of a spicy
Kick.
back edge, which it's great. It goes well with all kinds of food.
They had nice beers there. And,
Yeah.
and the other place he goes to, what is that? Premier? Remember, what was the
What was the one? Yeah,
Well,
the third
he-
one we went
he
to. That had
was-
the truck
either
with
Premier or
Copper Point.
Pioneer?
Dominican
Copper
and
Point, that's
German
Point
food or
Brewing
whatever it was.
is right next to
They,
Nobo.
they
It's
made
like-
some nice beers. The
Yeah.
guy gave me a 6-pack of his signature beer, and I remember drinking it.
You drank it. You said, "Wow, this is so much better than
Than
Budweiser."
Coors.
and
No,
Coors
not
Light."
for the
But
purpose.
then you
though.
went right back to Coors Light as
See,
soon as you
but
saw the price tag.
You,
on
you
some of
don't
these.
go out there and schwitz in the sun, so you don't understand the concept of the
I
beer
schwitz.
that's
I don't
like
even
water.
have to go out. in the
Yeah.
sun to schwitz. I just go from my house to the car, and by
Yeah,
the time I get the air
exactly.
conditioning cranked up, I'm already like in a
Yeah.
steam bath. It's,
A beer that's as close to water as you can get, I think, is an ideal duality. I don't know that you can make anything better.
just drink the
terms
water
of,
and
liquid
lace
consumption.
it with a little vodka, and you got yourself. It's probably more
But
economical.
why bother when I can just go buy a case of Coors Light?
Because have you seen the prices of even these schlock beers have gone up to now? You're paying more than $1 a can. You get
Oh,
a case
yeah.
for like
Oh, yeah, it's not
$24. I
Yeah.
remember. Do you remember when you'd get? I would do beer runs because I went to school in Boston, and
Where'd you go?
Tufts University, and back then.
Go ahead and
not-
bow down
No, just
to the intellectual giant we have here on the set.
But Massachusetts had Sunday blue laws. You couldn't buy any
Yeah.
alcohol
Indiana,
or
too.
beer or wine on a Sunday. So what we would do is, because we were all sick and we couldn't go a day without
Well, on the
beer,
weekend, you're not going without beer.
including and then nobody had
In
any
college.
foresight to actually buy the beer the day before.
Saturday night,
We
yeah.
would always drink it all on Saturday night. So we'd have to take a run up I-93 and go to New Hampshire. The state liquor store in New Hampshire was still open on Sundays, and we just run up about 25, 30-minute drive and pick up a whole bunch of stuff for the Sundays.
Tony was at enough of those games real early in Foxborough that I would imagine he could attest to the fact that that law was either not well enforced or
And I was going to
completely
say, there was beer
ignored.
at the stadium, isn't
Yeah,
there?
it was about as effective
And the
as
games are
like
early.
election laws are.
So everyone's
these
buying it
days.
Saturday night?
Yeah.
I'm gonna find that hard.
Boston, it was always who you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you could always find a way if you,
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get
All right,
to
what do you
this
got?
week's
Yes, let's get to
contest
this
because
first couple clues.
we are going to tie in international.
And no
Beer
Joe
Day.
this week, right? Joe's on his
Yeah, Joe,
daddy-daughter vacay.
something went round down the wrong hole there. We'll get ourselves.
Happened to me this
back on
morning.
track.
It wasn't good. I
It
couldn't
was
talk
like 20
for a while.
minutes. Steve did half an interview.
Let me see if the beer will.
we had the Greek
let
on.
me out.
Yeah.
All right.
great.
So,
Yeah.
do you want to explain the contest? I think everybody knows.
I
by
think
now.
Tony could explain it at this
No.
point. He's only been on his show 3 times.
Just remember, Mike Mayo eats at gmail.com
Wait,
by tomorrow at 12
You
p.
said Dave Joseph was here, or has he run away? Did he?
Yeah, he's not hanging.
Yeah,
he
he saw
came,
you
we
and he
started
said,
doing
"What
the
are
show.
these guys doing here?" I
He
thought they
came
were
over,
done.
he
I
took
told him
a
that
pickup.
Tony was here and wanted to say hello.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he just must have been scared off by the prospect of me maybe like
Yes.
downing
You
8
eating.
Embarrassing the
meatballs
rest
in a
of us.
row or
Yes.
something
He likes
like that.
plausible deniability. If he actually sees it in person, then he can't say he didn't know
That's
you were doing
true.
that. Yeah.
He texted me this morning. He sent me a whole bunch of hot dog emojis in a row. And then I sent him some pictures of the still shots of me cramming the Mike Mayo sandwich down my throat yesterday.
Oh, a beautiful
And he
job.
says, "You disgust me." That's
you
all he
discussed
said.
most of us.
And I said, "Yeah, but the people love it, and you got to give the people what they want."
Not
All
they
right.
love it. They just
All right, here we
put
go.
up
What do you got?
Lunchbox contest. You pick a winner in this week's contest race, which is going to be tomorrow's 9th race here at Gulfstream. And then you're going to give me the answer also to this week's restaurant, or in this case, it's kind of a brewery, restaurant, eatery establishment. And you'll send both of those components, a number between 1 and 9 for this week's contest race, along with the name of the establishment, to me at Mike Mayo Eats by noon tomorrow, Saturday, August 5th. And if more than one person has both components right, then we go to the tiebreaker on Monday's show, Into the Hat. Last week we had 11 in the hat. Seems like a lot of favorites have been winning. I like it when it's a long shot and then there's only one winner. And we don't have to do all those little slips of paper. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, this week's contest race, the 9th race at Gulfstream. It's a $52,000 allowance optional claimer, 7 furlongs on the main track. Post time scheduled for 4:49. There is numbers 1 through 9 for that, including a horse named Mish, which you're friends of Craig
Mish. You,
Greg
you
Mish,
don't know
yeah.
Craig Mish?
I
He's a
don't know
good
if he
dude.
owns the horse. I'm not sure.
I don't think he's involved
You
with the
said
horse.
it this morning. So
He
you're
has
just
degenerate
making up facts.
tendencies.
No, I you know what? It sometimes surprises you. Like you run into a guy and he says, "I got a horse in the 6th," and you're thinking, "Yeah, well, I mean, which one is it?" You're thinking he's going to give you a bump tip and you could put a line through it, and then it turns out the guy owns the horse.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know about Mish.
Mish, actually, because I come armed with information, the number 6 horse Mish is owned by C2 Racing Stable, which is also the man's name is Clint Cornett. I don't know who Clint Cornett is, but it's not Craig Mish.
But it's not Craig Mish. No.
It is trained by Safi Joseph. He's one of the favorites at 9-2.
Boy, did he get a bum rap
New York
there.
Traffic
Churchill,
is in the race 3-1. Some back class. New York Traffic is running some big races. I think all including in the Haskell. What is he
Are
doing?
you
in this
handicapping
one?
this race? As
Yeah,
we
I'm
speak?
going to go with New York Traffic. Number
All right.
5 is my pick, and the morning line favorite is Big and Classy, which represents the
Tony
Studiali
Segreto.
family
And Tony Segreto.
and Tony Segreto. Does not apply to me, Lubie, or
Well, I mean, imagine what are we doing on the same set? It used to be like Jennifer Valapi or some real distinguished news person. I mean, and now here's Tony Segreto, and humble enough to sit on the same set as 3 schleps like us. It's great.
Boy,
That's big and classy of him on his part.
It is big and classy.
Yeah. I mean, if your agent knew, Tony, you would have,
No, we are
you would
appreciative.
have begged out of the
Because
contract.
Tony at heart is one of us. He's
Yeah.
a degenerate.
He
He
loves the
really
generate.
is.
Yeah.
It was why we've survived this long together, because he's not in Defo Mike's class at all, except for the fact that he is a hardcore degenerate.
He
at
likes
heart.
to. He likes
Oh,
to.
he's
He
sending
likes
it in
to
on
toss
college
a wager
football.
or two
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
No, at heart big time. His wife
Hardcore,
too.
yeah,
What do
yeah.
you mean? His wife loves the race.
He'll have
Wow.
several dimes
His
on the game
parents-
that we have $20.
God rest their souls.
It's amazing.
All right, so number between 1 and 9, and now it's time for the clues this week. For this
And what
week,
does it relate to again?
we
You say
celebrate
beer?
International Beer Day.
All right,
I'm drinking my Stella Artois, which is from Belgium, and but we're talking about an acclaimed South Florida brewery and eatery. So, clue number 1: it started as a Boca Raton brew house and hookah lounge in 2006, but then founders Ryan and Gianna Sense started brewing their own beer after moving to another Boca strip mall in 2010. After initial success and growth, Ryan and his brother KC expanded operations and moved to a 30,000 square foot complex in Oakland Park, where it remains today. Okay?
Huh?
I never,
Started in
your
Boca.
first clue always confused the crap out of me.
I love to, you need a roadmap
30,000
to
square
get through.
feet. Let
Literally.
me think.
Because you start in Boca at a hookah lounge, then you go to another place
Yeah.
in Boca where they actually started brewing their own product. At first, they were.
Where'd you say they moved to?
Then they moved to Oakland Park.
I know
Oakland
it.
Park,
I know
okay.
it.
Oakland Park, okay, Dixie Highway, just right across from Dixie.
Tony's
Highway.
got it.
Let's do clue number 2.
Okay.
The Oakland Park Tap Room also features a kitchen and full bar menu, and offers a wide variety of beers, including seasonal and annual specials. The brand is now also found in bars, restaurants, and supermarkets throughout Florida and the U.S., and their top-selling beers are Hop Gun IPA
Oh, that sounds fun.
and Floridian, a German-style Hefeweizen wheat beer. So Hop Gun, you know Hop Gun? Do you know what I'm talking about
Yes.
yet?
Yes.
No idea.
I do.
Tifo never knows.
Yeah.
He is like, to be
The
on
last
this
few weeks,
show,
you've had me completely lost.
Yeah,
with this
I haven't
stuff.
gotten one in like a month.
And Lubie's way out there.
Like
too.
not in
Well,
like a month.
So I'm not alone, Mayo.
we don't have any Joe to hang on for, so I'm just going to wrap it up.
I've had a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Segredo's worldly like
Segreto's
you
very
are.
sophisticated.
Like,
He's been
we're
in a lot
not.
of places.
now, I'll give you a supplemental clue after I'm done with clue number 3.
I don't even have the slightest inclination
If you
on this.
Hey,
go,
let's go.
all right, so
Yeah.
Just
here we go. So clue number
Segreto's so
3. We'll wrap it up. There's no Joe B.
Yeah,
Or should we do it after the first
no,
one?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Do it
Throw
now,
in
you've
there,
teased
throw
it.
out
In
there.
Might as well do it.
2017, this brand and the company was purchased for a reported $80 to $90 million
Oh wow.
by international beverage giant Constellation Brands. But just recently, the Sense brothers announced that they had bought the company back after Constellation decided to get out of the craft beer market. So now they're back in control. They never left. They were still retained by
right.
Constellation, but they're back in control, and future plans at the Oakland Park Brew Pub include a new distillery. And you know what? If you ask me, Defo, the whole thing seems pretty zen for local adult beverage lovers.
No idea. I know you're probably
Pretty
getting at something,
zen.
but I have no idea what you're getting at.
What do you think?
For
Tone?
adult-
Oh, you had it.
He
You had
knows
him at
already.
hello.
Now
Yeah.
my
Did Mayo give you the
supplemental-
answer? Because
No, Tony is a man who is aware of things around him. He's a
Yes.
news person
Yes.
like myself, a journalist. You're just
He's
lost in the
cultured.
You
Yeah.
just go up and down, do your schwitzing and your 4 miles, and you pour your crap Coors Light into a glass. You probably put it on ice too,
no,
no,
ice,
on
no
ice.
ice.
No.
and
No.
you wouldn't know about
It's
these
the
things.
thrill of the chilled beer hitting the chilled glass. Mayo. You know
Well,
that's
this
really
place.
what it
All
does.
right, I'm going to give you one supplemental clue because
I don't think it'll help. Although I do
it
believe
will.
that I might have seen a feature about these guys
okay,
on the news.
this is a beer place in Oakland Park,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, which
But-
I'm
and
not
it's not
inclined
to
to
be
frequent.
confused with a music venue in Boca Raton that you and
Oh,
I
okay.
have attended
Oh, okay.
together.
Well, then
okay?
it's a gimme. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's-
All right, now
there's
I got
no biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
It is a Zen
That's-
place.
I got it. I
You
got it.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
It took a while for it to kick in.
You are slower than well, I'm going to say
Slower than Bill Mazeroski, man.
slower
I mean,
than
rounded the
Eddie
bases on that
Earthquake
home
Blake
run.
running
the
the
60
40.
series, yeah.
Yes, that's it. Eddie Earthquake Blake. How's that for an old Dolphins reference?
There you go.
We loved
Eddie
Earthquake.
Blake.
Eddie
Oh,
Earthquake
God,
Blake. You know
Eddie
Earthquake
Blake.
Blake. The
Second round
disaster
pick.
that was
One-footed offensive tackle.
that they
who
moved
became a
from
defensive
lineman
tackle
to
after-
defensive lineman, and he
Marino
sucked in
almost
both
got
places.
killed.
I was there at Lockhart that day, man, watching Blake pull
Show his
out, miss
face.
a block.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Marino got planted into the ground. And,
That was the end of that.
next thing you know, on the next chart that came out, the depth chart, he was on defense
Defensive.
On defense.
as the third string nose tackle.
Yeah.
All right, send those answers
Mike
and
Mayo
It's a gimme. It's a gift.
One
Yeah,
to nine
it's so
gmail.com.
easy. It's a
Mike
joke.
Mayo eats at gmail.com. Yeah, so easy. You couldn't get it until I gave you the supplemental.
Well, until you name the restaurant.
I didn't name it. That's a different club. But go ahead. Hey, let's talk about our friends at Tropical Acres.
Yes, where Segredo may be
Tony's heading
taking
there
foray
tonight, I
out
think,
there.
It's
yeah.
the weekend, and it's a fine time.
And they
to
do
go.
happy hour even on Fridays. It's
They
a
do.
weekend day, but it's still they do happy hour.
If you
today.
want to kick off your
The happy hour's
weekend
great.
right, you go in there at about 4:30 and grab a seat at the bar, and you have half price drinks on anything in the joint, including Belvedere martinis, which is my drink, and I get them for $8 there at happy hour, 4:30 to 6:30 at Tropical Acres. They have light bites. They have these little sirloin sliders.
Ooh,
that
and they
are
cook it
great.
to order.
$6. They have escargot on their happy hour.
Escargot's
menu.
nice.
It is packed in that bar for happy hour because people know a good deal and that's some good stuff going. But if you want the full Tropical Acres experience, you got to go into the dining room and then you treat yourself to something like the Twin Lobster Specials, which goes on all summer long. $39 for the twin Maine lobsters steamed fresh with a side dish and a salad. You can't beat that. You could get. I'm giving Tony some
coaching
advice
Segredo up, yeah.
because there are certain items there that, in my mind, really will
Stand out.
stand out and make your Tropical Acres experience phenomenal. You know, not just low price, but really good quality, and just leave you saying, "Wow, how do they do this?" And they've been doing it for 74 years, since 1949. The Studiali
You've
family.
reduced Tony to pulling a
You know what's
Mayo.
interesting though?
Yeah.
Him the way he grabbed the crouton. Sorry to interrupt,
I didn't do
Mr.
it.
Mayo.
Okay,
Didn't feel as disgusting as
It
the way
doesn't
he
look like he's
grabbed the
putting a
cucumber.
catcher's mitt over
Because
the plate.
he's classy.
And it was the same move, but Mayo, the cucumber lingered into the salad,
I
and
didn't
Mayo went
linger.
into the salad to grab the cucumber, where Segredo went to the outside
I went to the
and grabbed
periphery.
it daintily.
I
It
went
felt
to
it
the
didn't feel
periphery.
as gross.
But at Tropical Acres, we urge you to use all your utensils because the Studiali
Yes.
Yeah,
family.
please
Classy.
eat your
They're-
utensils when
They're
they're.
classy.
Yeah.
That's a
2500 Griffin Road, just west of the I-95 and the airport. It is.
It's been there forever.
It's been
Yeah,
there
yeah.
forever,
It's
and there's a reason
the
for
oldest
that. They
restaurant
know
in
what they're
Broward.
doing, and of course, they're open every day except Sunday. They also have a butcher shop if you want to get a couple of those beautiful fillets. I was going to want to go on and say prime rib, fillet, rack of lamb, lobster, twin lobster special. Those are my go-tos when I go to
Yeah,
Tropical
you do a
Acres.
great job.
You can't go wrong if you do that, and you'll be astounded at the value when you get the final check. So go there, tell them the lunchbox sent you, and Defo.
We're coming back, baby. This sounds great.
Yeah.
Tony looks like he's really enjoying his thing. You had the same thing, and Lubie knocked it out of the park, although still to come on the show, Mike Mayo
Yeah.
eating an entire meatball.
eating an entire meatball without chewing. All right, back with that in a moment.
Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. a place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at One Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine. The huge menu with something for everyone: seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, deli specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day, open 7 days until late, parking available on site, happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at arubabeachcafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day.
When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all: Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
We're having a fine time at
Spectacular.
10 Palms.
You like
on a
you like
Friday.
that salad?
I do. And Tony, what's your critique
It
of
was
the
very good.
avocado
Yeah.
caprese
Light.
salad? Yeah.
With more bread. Wow,
Protein
look at
on
this.
it.
Yeah. Oh, we
What
got a little
service?
more
I don't
bread.
even know if we asked for that.
That's it.
Wow.
That's good.
I'm
Okay.
going to say no. This bread's nice. These
We
croissants.
got more. I don't know what's
Boxes,
coming.
the
They
whole thing.
keep coming. They keep bringing
Tell you
us
what,
stuff.
Service
these
is
guys do a
Who
great
am I to
job.
say no?
Great job.
And when we've been out
Service
here
is
for some of
spectacular.
our lunchbox brunch bashes, we've had 2 of them so far.
You want that
Again, it's
Tony
been
come out the next
excellent service and just we got another beer. And very deftly poured, and it's cold. We like that.
A
in
little
America,
head on the
cold
top
beer.
of it.
We're
Walk
not
that up,
Brits.
man.
We don't like
Yeah.
warm, sudsy beer. We like cold beer, and especially on International Beer Day. Tony, before I do my
Not
next
finishing
trick,
the last sip.
Yes.
Wow.
which it could shock and repulse you.
Yeah.
I just want you've interviewed some like luminaries, world famous
presidents.
people,
These
right?
are
people
Who-
presidents,
who
world
have you
leaders.
interviewed? Like has been like you'd say the most famous top 5.
You did Clinton, right? You did Reagan,
Who?
Clinton.
No,
Oh, you
I
didn't.
did Clinton. I did President Bush, the first one. I did Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
I've done.
Weren't you overseas? Didn't you do one of the?
Did you do Olympics for NBC or George
did
Michael?
Olympics. Did the Olympics? Did Mark Spitz?
Okay.
Did second in command to Castro
Okay.
in Cuba.
Not Raul,
In
but,
Cuba.
Yeah,
but
not
in
Raul.
Cuba,
In
you've
Cuba.
traveled internationally. Distinguished journalist, award-winning sportscaster.
Yes,
Got South Florida through that horrendous night of Hurricane Andrew.
Yep.
I mean,
him and Andrews.
distinguished, big and
Or
classy,
Norcross. Him and
still
Norcross.
here, hanging out with us. But have you ever seen
A guy do this.
a guy do this? And I'm going
Here we
to
go.
now put
Wow.
an entire meatball
Be
in
careful,
my
man.
mouth,
Be
and this
careful on
could
this
get a
one.
little
It's like
ugly.
leaning in. You want to?
You don't want to lean in. You want to lean back. Lean back. Lean back.
Oh my
lean
God, you
back.
put the
That's a
whole
nice
meatball
shirt. You believe this? You believe this, people?
Oh my God!
My God, Tony.
You're dripping. I don't
What
know how you're
haven't you
dripping because
seen?
there wasn't really a lot of sauce on it. But you're dripping.
All right, the single most disgusting act now.
I
It's been
apologize.
topped here at 10
Oh my God.
pounds.
And
You
Segredo
get thrown
chose
out of
to
here if you
come.
did that, Mayo. I mean,
Segredo
if you were
chose
just a
to
regular
come.
customer.
I'm so disgusted right now.
You happy, Brian?
Yeah.
So what I want to know.
Sorry, Lisa.
First of all, this was so much easier than yesterday's
Well,
Mike
the
Mayo
sandwich,
sandwich
yeah, yeah.
because that was hefty with the crunchy bread. This
Yeah.
is a soft meatball,
Yeah.
and it just kind of like imploded in my mouth. And
It implodes.
Yeah.
Can the meatball implode?
Where you-
I don't want to make any tasteless jokes, but
Yeah, please.
what
don't.
you've already seen has been shocking
That's
and
tasteless
repulsive
enough,
enough. Tony, are you still going to come back next week?
Were you
or-
ever on the Skipper Chuck show? Because I would imagine
Wait a minute,
even he
wait a
never
minute.
had anything
Wait a
quite like this.
I can't
Yeah.
come back next week, but I'll come back Thursday.
Okay.
Okay.
When we're doing a remote show,
What do we have on a
somewhere-
Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to go to where are we going?
We have something.
We'll be
like-
somewhere.
No, where we going?
Okay, no, but
I think we have.
you're
stuff on-
welcome anytime. I just didn't know if that
I would come
if
back.
that
I would come
basically
back.
made you so horrified.
If I would come back next
and
week.
you know, I shared in the Pulitzer Prize once, a team effort, Suns out.
I would come back next week if I didn't have a lunch date.
Okay,
But I
no
have,
worries.
I have a lunch date,
All right.
and
Well, you know, you're welcome here anytime, any
Anytime.
day,
I will make it
because
A
you
regular-
raised the class level. You know, from
100%.
I will
cheap
make it.
claimers to stakes winning company.
I will make it a regular stop.
Oh, that's
Works
awesome.
for us. We love having you.
But have you ever seen like anybody do that?
No.
No.
Do you want to see him do it again?
No,
well,
no,
No,
please
I'm
don't.
not doing it again.
No.
What do you think? I'm some circus act?
100%.
That's how we've been promoting
that's
you
the
on
problem.
TikTok. Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, I
Oh,
have so
God.
much fun here. We're here on the lunchbox. What? Anybody got any topics? I guess I could go into my pork fest yesterday.
No, you
no.
already described that in great
Well,
detail.
that was this morning. Not,
Let's
not-
talk about
not
some
the
places.
Same audience.
I mean,
no. For the lunchbox audience, I just got to give a recap because I
All
did
right.
post about it on Let's Eat. And the fact that yesterday, after gorging on the Mike Mayo pork sandwich at Wicked Cheesesteaks, I then went to Union Kitchen and Bar where we did Wednesday's show and had a pork fest because appetizer we had pork belly tacos, then we had the pork ragu pappardelle, fresh made pasta, and then we had their great cider brine.
We haven't
pork chop.
talked about the fried oyster, which is one of the things we didn't have that you had last night as well.
Right. And Roberto, very kind, he brought out on the house an extra appetizer because I guess he just also was repulsed by me eating nothing but pork. And he said, you got to try our fried oysters.
Oh, nice.
Cornmeal
Fried-
battered.
oh.
Very
Nice, yeah.
Put that back up. Yeah.
Cool.
No, it was very crunchy and a beautiful oyster in between with a little dusting of an aioli at the bottom of it. They put it back in the oyster shell, but with the crunchy cornmeal battered oyster. A delicious appetizer. One of the many things that Union Kitchen and Bar.
How did you get started in this?
I just liked eating, and you could tell I have a
Yeah.
little bit of a passion for it. I like eating. I like good wine. And when I was a sports writer, when I would travel, when all the other people like Defo were just having Coors Light and hot dogs, I would actually venture out and go to whatever the top restaurant or whatever the specialty, regional specialty that and wherever I went was known
I went
for.
with you one time.
Yeah, and I just got into it, and then I said, my dream job. Some people, it's being a sportscaster and going to the Super Bowl and getting paid for that. But for me, it was like trying to become a food critic, and and my dreams came true. And then newspapers went right into the dumpster.
Soon after, he was out of business. But no, he resurrected himself, look, as a television star, which is amazing. And now with a cult following for these, these feats of strength, I guess you would call it, from
Feats of strength.
a gastronomic standpoint. And people are amazed by it. They really are.
I unhinged my jaw,
Yeah.
and it's hide the women and children.
I
'cause
mean,
it can be shot.
100%.
Yeah. They used to at carnivals have people guess your weight or your age. And then now we just feature Mayo. Like, what can he fit into his mouth at one bite?
So, Tony, have you eaten at any kind of interesting or new places lately? Or
No, I haven't. No,
you just have your tried and trues like
just
Capriccio.
yeah, I haven't been out much lately,
Yeah.
but I'm going to venture out, and especially being with you and learning about all these restaurants now, I'm going to start doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were in that kind of that Miami Beach area, though, in the heyday of celebrities and all of these, different things that were going on with restaurants in terms of classic joints like the Forge and other places. My favorite that, unfortunately, Mike never experienced, Tony's Casanopolis. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Was probably the best Italian restaurant I've been to, maybe lifetime. It was a staple here. What were some of the classic places that you remember like frequenting, when you were hobnobbing with the
Alberto's,
the paparazzi there?
Alberto's on the beach.
Alberto's on the beach. What was that?
It was American. It was ahead of its time. It was a cuisine that was an infusion of steaks.
Alberto's. Don't
Little
remember.
Lobster.
multicultural. Okay.
Yeah, Monero's
Oh, Monero's.
has to be.
Oh, right down the block here.
Yeah,
That's a place.
Yeah,
It
that was a
actually
classic hangout. Yeah.
Our first contest that we ran here
didn't you
in
talk
early
about Monero?
December.
Yeah.
Monero's was the clue. Was the restaurant that we featured because I always hung out there after the races with a whole.
it closed,
group of
didn't
people.
it?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
long gone.
Monero's, Runway 84 to this day.
Oh, Runway.
You
Yeah.
know we're big fans of Runway.
Still ranks as the top place. Johnny's was always good.
Yeah.
The one in Pompano.
No.
Oh.
Johnny's was in Davie. It closed.
He loved this joint, man. I ran
Okay.
into Tony there a long, long time ago. There was a
Johnny,
guy,
like John.
Yeah.
Johnny, yeah, a guy who hung out at the track,
Yeah.
and he had mastered the ability to have a perpetual young look.
Yeah.
Like 30 years would go by and he looked the same.
Like Segredo.
Yeah.
Like you.
No,
Yeah.
not like me.
Like Tony.
You lived out what? Did you ever go to Armadillo Cafe when it
Yeah.
first
Armadillo
opened?
Cafe.
Armadillo back in the day.
Was a-
Chef Kevin McCarthy. And I would see Marino in there. I would see you in there from time to time. That was one of the go-to spots. And he was doing that Southwestern cuisine.
Yeah.
Absolutely great
Where
stuff.
did Joe's rank in the Segredo hierarchy and with the TV people in town?
Joe's never made sense to me.
Oh, wow.
It
Really?
makes sense to me.
No, it
Spend
never
a
made
lot-
sense.
What-
Because what do they do to a stone crab?
They just crack it.
That's all they do is crack it. That's all
But
they
that's-
do.
That's kind of sometimes.
That's all they
Do
do.
you remember an Italian family where you're cooking a gravy for like 2 days?
That's
So
all they do.
All right, we're gonna have a little food fight over this, Tony. With all due respect,
I love that
because
Tony's against a
First
South
of all,
Florida.
Tradition.
and he must have been
mainstay.
there a million times, right? And with Hank and everybody, and
Yeah,
all
for
that.
sure. He
Yeah.
probably had a table waiting for
Okay.
him.
Probably has
Sometimes
a
I
table
would say,
named for it.
Now.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Well,
this-
that number will
this
be taken
This
down.
is craziness here. I
Ma-
can't believe
'cause
it's
Mayo
almost
loves-
sacrilege.
Joe's, yeah.
That okay. I say sometimes the best thing a restaurant can do is get out of the way of your product. And when you have like a product as good as a fresh Florida stone crab claw, just they boil it on the boats when they bring it in, they chill it, they crack it, they serve it with a little drawn butter.
Uh-huh.
And okay, so they do that, but they crack it better than anybody else. The other things,
So
Tony,
they crack it better than anybody else.
they also charge more than almost anybody
Right.
else.
Yeah.
And it's one of those places that stone crabs aren't priced by the pound or the claw; it's priced by the carat. So it's a very expensive
I
item.
never made sense to me.
All right. Well, It made sense to me. I love the whole experience. I fell in love with it because I love classic old school joints where there's tuxedo clad waiters.
That's
There's
I'm
proper
sure.
service.
Yeah, that's
They know what they're doing. Like the way you watch that operation, just from somebody operationally who like you can marvel at how a place can do like turn 2,000 or 3,000 covers in a night.
Yeah.
And do it efficiently.
they
And
do that
other
good.
things. They had.
I want to
really
try the
good-
fried chickens.
They
The
have
fried chicken's
fried
freaking great.
chicken.
Yeah.
They have the hash browns lyonnaise with the onions blended in. They had good Manhattan clam chowder. They had the key lime pie, which they baked every day.
Key lime
So
pie is
they
great.
did more than just crack the stone crab.
The service is cool though. They do treat, no matter whether you're a superstar or whoever the heck you are, they treat everyone like it's like what we were talking about. One of the restaurants where we had a chef on where they want you to have like, or I was watching the Bear. The Bear, they did that where the one that was a 3 Michelin star, they want everyone to have the experience of their life. And Joe's is like that, where they treat everyone who's there like it's the night of your life. Like they really do. The service they give you is, that's why I like Tropical Acres. The service they give you, it's something, and I get it. The service industries are struggling, so it's harder for everyone to be that impeccable with service. And I don't hold it against anyone. But when people do rise above when it comes to service, I like giving them, as the kids say, their flowers. Like I like giving them their kudos. And Joe's Tropical Acres are great at that.
You're a Joe's.
Oh
fan.
yeah.
Defo,
I'm not a big.
I like Joe's. I mean, I
I just like
haven't
the
been there in
service. I
years,
like
but
the vibe.
when I've gone, I had a good experience.
If I want a key lime pie,
right.
if
You go to Terry's New River Groves, right? I mean, Bob Roth's New River Groves. Bob Roth, a tremendous guy. You live out there. And he makes it in honor of his late wife, who died of cancer in the 70s, first started making the pies.
Gilbert's does a
Gilbert's.
great key lime.
She does a great job. And glad to report that Lenore is on the mend and doing better. Beth reports that
we'll be there soon, so maybe you can meet us there.
See Lenore when we make our monthly visit. You should come out to us there because
they do a great key lime pie.
Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. They're known for their burgers, but they have many other healthy items, salads, and
what's it called?
Fish. Gilbert's 17th Street Grill.
Fort Lauderdale.
The Gilbert family. Bob passed away, unfortunately, but him and his wife Lenore, originally from New York, but they operated a longtime steakhouse out in Plantation. It was called Kansas City Steakhouse.
Oh, I love Kansas
I don't know
City
if you
Steakhouse.
knew that. That was
I
back
love
there in
Kansas
the,
City Steakhouse.
I think 70s and 80s and part
90s.
of the 90s.
It was the 90s because I
It was
love
in
that
the
place.
90s too. Yeah, 80s and 90s. They did a good job. So we make a monthly visit there. That'll be a great time for you to come out on a Thursday.
I'll be out
too.
there.
Yeah, and they have some.
We'll
really,
be going next Thursday.
Well, we've got to see. Lenore's is on the mend, and she's going to hopefully be back by the middle to the end of the month. So we'll sort it out. We'll get all the details to everybody. I posted on the Mike Mayo's Lunchbox Facebook page our upcoming remote shows, and we do a lot of them.
So I have to say, when I'm talking to three degenerates, it just popped up an interesting name.
Yes,
The one and only Joey is watching us right now.
Highlight?
Yeah.
Back when it was Dania Highlight.
Joey Cornblit. is
Point and
watching
gain to
you.
the six.
Wow.
So I had to
Joey.
bring that up. We love
Yeah.
you, Joey.
Chula.
Joey was the best, man.
What's it?
I mean, think about it. A guy revolutionized the sport. He really did.
As
Yeah.
a Jew,
Oh,
a Spanish sport. It
Jewish
was great.
guy in a Spanish
And
sport.
that's not a thing, Joey. And I'm just saying he was a Jewish gentleman from wherever he was from.
Chased them all back
and
to
it was
the
a
Basque region of
Spanish
Spain. Yeah.
I know that
sport
Defo
that he
loved
took over.
going to Dania Highlight and all the highlight front. Did you enjoy going there on a Friday night back in the day when there was like 10, 15,000 people there?
Yeah, I like going to Dania, going to Biscayne,
Mhm.
going to Flagler.
There was even a West Palm
Cool.
Beach
going
front on.
Yeah, I just didn't venture out.
I used to go with my aunt and uncle that lived in Boca,
used
so
to-
I remember that. It
I
was
used to go to Dania.
Yep.
So
What's your advice? How do you handicap a highlight match?
I mean,
If
we
Joey's
could get into
playing-
a lot of things if Joey's watching, with no offense
I was
meant.
gonna say you're gonna do this with Joey.
No, I saw El Chapo go to the window and unload on the 8-7 Quinella.
Sometimes you
I
gotta
thought
talk.
maybe
If Joey's
there
playing
might be
Joey.
something to it. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get a little inside intel. I don't want to say anything was not on the up and up.
Joey
Yeah.
in Miami highlight was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, and Dania highlight was probably going to be extinct, except he went there.
I had my best success just playing birthday numbers and
Yeah.
boxes, and the outside posts would always get underbet because it was harder for them. They didn't go first, and you would make your bigger scores when a 7-8 came in, or a 6-7 or something like that, something unlikely.
It was a perfect sport for South Florida sports fans. So I always say this because you would be rooting like hell for your team. Maybe Joey's out of the $5 or whatever, some compromising position, and you're screaming, "Come on, Joey! Come on, Joey! Come on, Joey!" And then in the next round, you need Joey to lose a point so you would have a chance to cash the ticket. So you turn on your own team. How great is that, right? You're rooting for the Dolphins, and all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm a Bears fan.
It's the ultimate in fickle fan for sports,
I mean,
which is
no wonder it flourished here for so
South Florida. 1 minute you're loving it, 1 minute
confusion.
you want
rooting
them to
against
just
them.
snap the cesta in half.
That's right. Overserved, Joey.
Hey, we got to take care of some more business. I can't believe the hour is almost gone. We got to talk about
Anytime you're with
friends.
Tony Segreto, man. It's good company.
At Dine Out Lauderdale.
Yes.
Again, I went to Union Kitchen and Bar. And it's on the Dine Out
Yeah,
Lauderdale
it's in our
thing.
spot.
All you have to do is ask for the Dine Out menu, and they'll give it to you. And you get 3 courses at some of the finest restaurants around Broward County, Greater Fort Lauderdale. You get them for $45. You get an appetizer, an entree, a dessert. Some of the restaurants are a little bit more upscale and have a little bit higher price menu, but it's still great
Still a
value
great deal. Yeah.
compared to what you would ordinarily get if you just walked in, especially in the middle of December or January. Dine Out Lauderdale is going on all month long, August 1st through 31st. And go to dineoutlauderdale.com or visit lauderdale.com/dineout, and you can see the whole roster, over 100 restaurants in more than 18 cities around the county. Great deals abound. And it's not just the fancy restaurants. This year, for the first time, brunch places, cafes, ice cream parlors like Jackson's Ice Cream, they're
The
offering
best.
They're doing a
offering
special thing
for the
which is
first
cool.
time. They are having their
They're
kitchen
mini.
sink,
They're mini.
mini sink.
A mini,
I
and
call
it wasn't that mini.
I
I'll
call
tell you
it-
that right now.
Yeah, it's not mini.
It wasn't
I
that
call it a
mini.
solo sink because the first time you can get the kitchen
It isn't
sink
that
for
solo
one.
either.
$18.95. Usually you have to go in with a big group, and it's over $75.
Mayo almost finished it, but it wasn't solo.
Great stuff. Again, Dine Out Lauderdale going all month long. Go to dineoutlauderdale.com to check out all the details. And when you go to a place, say, hey, I heard about it on the Lunchbox.
All right, we're going to come back and wrap this thing up. We got time to say goodbye. Great meal here, by the way, Joe Beja. We miss you.
Yeah, we
And,
love you, Joe. Enjoy.
Fantastic job by your staff and crew here. Chicken Caesar Dynamite. You guys had that avocado caprese salad.
Caprese salad.
Phenomenal. Lubie is all over this
And the olive vodka.
vodka.
Rigatoni olive vodka.
Rigatoni. And
Meatballs.
the meatball you saw for yourself, people.
Mikey liked it.
Mikey likes it.
Mikey liked it. All right, we're going to come back and say goodbye here from 10 Palms in a moment.
It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6.
The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting? Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. This August, Visit Lauderdale invites everyone under the sun to indulge in the annual Dine Out Lauderdale promotion. This year's options will be more diverse than ever, with fine dining restaurants, casual eateries, and even your favorite cafes and ice cream parlors part of the mix. From August 1st through 31st, scores of restaurants will be offering multi-course meals at discounted prices starting at just $45 per person. Diners can also enjoy sweets and treats, brunches, happy hour specials, and exclusive culinary experiences. This year's lineup includes 3030 Ocean, Foxy Brown, and Lasso Gaucho in Fort Lauderdale, Even Keel Fish Shack and Aruba Beach Cafe in Lauderdale by the Sea, Cafe Max in Pompano, The Cook and the Cork in Coral Springs, Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton Manors, and more. Restaurants are being added by the day. For the full Dine Out Lauderdale lineup and all the details, go to dineoutlauderdale.com.
All right, we're back on the Lunchbox, and boy, we had a good time today. Just got to put in the kind word about our friends at Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market. They are open every day, and you can go online to DelawareChicken.com. You're going to want to run in there and get your stuff for the weekend grilling or cooking. They've got poultry, they've got steaks, they've got pork chops, they've got sausage, house-made, but best of all, and healthiest of all, their assortment of fresh fish and seafood from local waters, the great grouper, and, of course, Key West pink shrimp. They've got clams and such from up and down the East Coast, and next week starts Florida commercial lobster season, so you're going to be able to get those Florida lobster tails. We're going to be in there in a couple of weeks. We go there.
My
on
friend
Thursday,
Southern Bee
too.
makes a dynamite lobster bisque with the Florida lobster tail.
Nice.
Yeah, dynamite. It's really good.
And again, you can get all that at Delaware. It's 4191 North State Road 7. We love Doug Carter and, of course, Jose and Gene, the managers. They'll do a great job. You walk in there, you'll get well taken care of. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, gentlemen, any big plans this weekend? Defo, what's going on?
Nothing special. I hope to win some money today so I can go back out there tomorrow, take advantage of that free racing farm you got.
Shocking. Walking, drinking cheap, watery beer, and plunging your guts out.
And
Okay.
return to the
each
tennis
their
courts
own.
also planned for Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Then
Be careful
out there.
please.
I
See
don't
what
think you
happens.
should do that anymore.
You know,
Oh,
I'm
you're not
saying-
the doctor.
Yeah.
You can try
saying
it. Just
You're not
Pickleball?
inclined to do this kind of athletic endeavor, but I
Pickleball?
enjoy it. Pickleball is no, bowling would be bad. I'd rather play pickleball than bowl. I think.
Okay, because
Yeah.
yes, tendonitis in the
Yeah,
elbow.
No, I
and
mean
the
it's a
wrist.
little more active. I mean, in
Did
bowling.
you see that picture of his wrist that he posted on Facebook earlier? It looked like
Oh,
it
that
was,
was
ugly, man.
swollen, like the.
I was with
Hindenburg.
you. It was horrible. Yeah, I mean,
blown up like a
there's certain
dirigible.
functions that are very critical to just getting through the day that I couldn't perform.
Oh, there you go.
Tony, any weekend plans?
Nothing special.
You might go to Tropical Acres. Is that
may go,
Maybe it's a maybe. If
yeah.
you do, go say hi to either Jack, Joe, or Jackson. They'll take great care of you. Tell them. Just show them a picture of me eating
Tell
that
them the
meatball
Lunchbox
today.
sent
And you
you.
said,
I have nothing special planned, but
All right.
I'll be there.
Lubie, I think I know what you're doing
Tonight I will be at Union. You took your turn last night. Tonight I will be breaking my wife to Union Kitchen and Bar. Can't wait. I actually got a response from Roberto today.
Nice.
So looking forward to it. And I don't know if it'll be Pork Fest. We'll probably diversify a little bit.
I'm sure you and Shirley will have yourselves an excellent meal. Do your favor. They got great cocktails, great wine list.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
the weekend. Kind of loosen up a little bit, have a couple of
Yes, sir.
cocktails, have a little vino. The place, I really loved it. And you have to report back to me on Monday
100%.
there, Lubie, about is there a lunchbox / Mike Mayo bounce? Because I've
How
said
pa-
nothing
is it-
but flattering things this week about him, and see if they actually get people in the door and they have to 86 those pork chops, because I did that to Joey at Cafe Seville one time with his stuffed veal chop. He was cursing at me for weeks. He was like, "Mother, you sold more than 40 pork chops.
That
You
had
ran
nothing to
out
do with
by
the
8
pork chop,
o'clock.
yeah.
Everybody was screaming, we want the pork, we want the veal chop, we want the stuffed veal chop." Sometimes, you got to
That's a good
wait for
problem
the
to have.
best things. So, all right, guys, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. I apologize for all my misbehavior.
Don't apologize.
Yeah.
Defo, I apologize
Don't
for
apologize.
denigrating
2 minutes
your
to toga. 2
awful
minutes to toga.
taste in beer.
It's your
And
stick.
it's my
Being a
shtick.
clown.
The
Yeah.
people love it. What can I
People
do?
love it.
What can I do except get heavier and heavier?
Mike
The
Mayo.
other day I went into Seville. I saw Joey, and there was a woman at the bar who was complaining, like she was eating but not able to drink, and she also has had a difficult pregnancy. She was about to give birth.
Hold that thought. I got to get involved here.
And she was 8 months pregnant, and I just looked down at me. I said, "I'm about 9.5 months. They got to take this thing out already." All right, Defo, go punch your guts
Good
out.
bit.
We're going to wrap it up for the weekend. Everybody, thanks for tuning in, and remember to enjoy every sandwich.